Welcome to the first FABEC News Flash. In this edition, we would like to introduce FABEC, followed by two top stories, Night Network and City Pairs. And at the end, some news in brief. Today, inside the FABEC area, air traffic controllers from 7 civil and 3 military organizations are controlling as much as 55% of all European air traffic. In their daily work, they are facing crowd traffic flows connecting the major hubs, as well as growing needs for military exercises. Growing requirements and contradictory needs have to be brought in line in an airspace which is mainly designed on national borders instead of traffic needs. The problem, as such, is not new. Over decades, several initiatives have aimed at achieving more safety and capacity, fewer delays and lower cost. But what really makes the difference between FABEC and former initiatives is the strong political commitment, which is shared by all partners involved, states and air navigation service providers, as well as civil and military.
We, the states, military and ANSP, we are guided by the orientations of the Declaration of Intent. Due to the strong commitment by all partners, we think we have a real chance to change the aviation in the heart of Europe.
At the European level, the political impulse has been given by the Single European Sky, which introduced, in particular, the notion of FABs, functional airspace blocks.
FABEC is, for us, very emblematic. The complexity of the traffic is specific to this part of Europe, and the volume of traffic is also extremely dimensioning the challenge.
We are really impressed by the way the FABEC is progressing. We are now just 1 year after the signature of the Declaration of Intent, and the first deliverable appear, and the next step are in progress. It's really promising.
In the meantime, the states are setting up a common institutional framework to address issues such as liability, finance, or organizational setup. Their timing is tight. In a few months' time, the FABEC Treaty will be signed. But the institutional framework as such will not provide any benefits to airspace users, neither in terms of costs nor shorter routes. This is why the civil and military ANSPs are working hard to deliver benefits for the airspace users. Several expert task forces have been created to look at greater cooperation.
But what really makes the difference is the way we work together as partners of FABEC. We know ourselves better and better, and the result is that we can now discuss important topics that we wouldn't have dared to discuss only 1 year ago.
FABEC is not a project anymore. It's now become our reality. We're all members of FABEC, and every little step we make counts. The idea of the night network is not new. Some ANSPs have already been using it in their daily business. But now an existing practice is becoming institutionalized. The first routes are being completed in 2010.
I will shortly introduce you the FABEC Night Network, which is now going outside FABEC area to England, Denmark, Czech Republic, Poland, Austria, Italy, and so on. This will bring some changes to our work and many benefits to companies during the night. I will show you on the radar screen how does it look like. Okay, for example, that route is starting in Germany, and this go through Switzerland and then to the south of France. Before, as an air traffic controller, if you want to give a shortcut, you needed to coordinate through all those countries. Now, this will be in the flight plan, and we don't need to make any coordination anymore. For the company, the benefits will be, if they are flying that way instead of the daily network, which was much more longer than today, the taken fuel is less important and the route is much shorter. The other example is from France, okay, going through Switzerland and to the south of Italy. As you can see, this is almost a straight line compared to the daily network, which was 40 nautical miles longer than that one. So, of course, the users, they are very happy with those changes and they are asking for more, and we will work for more. Would it have been possible to implement without FABEC? Probably yes, but not within the same time frame. we were completely free of any political and administrative barrier. And then that makes you realize that there are so many possibilities for improvements and harmonization. If I had a message to pass to my FABEC colleagues, this will be to invest themselves more in the FABEC constructions. This is a wonderful story about people, and we should continue developing it.
City pairs. The objective of this working package is to shorten the distance flown between the 50 most penalised city pairs. Good cooperation between the civil and military organisations is crucial, and progress is becoming visible. The first implementations have been made and further improvements will follow.
Concerning the 50 most penalized city pairs, many solutions are on the table. 5 of them are yet implemented, 21 of them are ready for implementation, and 14 are yet under study.
So I'm going to tell you a bit about the work that we're doing in this group. I'm going to show you a couple of examples over here. So the first example is for overflights and Paris departures going to Spain. Today we have a military area around here, so the routes avoid this military area by doing this corner. And what is going to be created is 2 routes that go across the military zone to be used when the zone is not active.
I'm going to show you a flight going from Paris to Munich on a radar screen. As we have 2 major military zones, we only have 2 possibilities for the time. The first one is to fly northeast overhead Luxembourg and then to go southeast to Munich. The second one is to fly southeast, then northeast. In the future, we will have a third possibility when military airspace is inactive, is to fly east, straight to Munich. This route is approximately 30 miles shorter.
So the impact of city pair routes is that we offer better service to airlines because we provide shorter routes and also less coordinations between the different centers as flights are already on direct routes.
With FABEC, civil and militaries from 6 states were around one table to discuss about safety, capacity and better use of airspace. Therefore, it's easier to find cross-border solutions.
Even if the improvement could seem minor in terms of unit, the global saving will be really interesting for the company. Different elements make this shortcuts issue a little bit difficult to work on. I would like to mention 3 of them: the daily use of military area, the ACC capacity limit, and the crossing of major flow, all these aspects by always ensuring a high safety level.
What's nice about the FABEC City Pair Working Group is that we meet people from other countries that have different working cultures. And also we discuss with militaries, which is really important to find improvements.
At the end of 2009, over 40 experts came together for 2 weeks to conduct a field trial. The initial feedback from the participating experts is quite positive. A detailed report will be elaborated in March 2010. On the 11th of March 2010, en Roufra, the first FABEC airspace redesign project will be implemented. En Roufra aims to optimize the main civil air traffic flows from and to Frankfurt and Amsterdam. In the second half of April 2010, the real-time simulation for the swap package UN 852-853 will take place. The control centres of Reims, Geneva, Brussels, Maastricht, Paris and Zurich will be taking part. In autumn 2010, the 6 FABEC states plan to sign the states' agreement to set up FABEC, which should be ratified by 2012. The signing will create the institutional framework for FABEC. From the 9th to the 11th of March, the partner organisations will have a joint stand at the ATC Global in Amsterdam. To make this joint stand possible, the French DSNA will not have its own stand and DFS will use its stand exclusively for its consulting business. In the next FABEC newsflash, there will be more about ATFCM, ASM and en Roufra. For more information, visit our website at fabec.eu.